When there's snow, slow down. Slow down. BikeBlogger here. On my way to work. Topic of the day. Snow, my friendly foe. Snow, my friendly foe. So, there isn't really any snow on the ground right now, as you can tell. There probably will be here later. It is winter. It is cold. We are getting snow at some time, and sleet, all that good stuff. Let's talk about snow. Snow comes in all different varieties. What tires go best with what type of snow? See, this is the tricky thing. Alright, it's a little narrow through here. This is the tricky thing with snow. It can be dry, it can be wet, it can be slushy, it can be deep, it can be shallow, it can be icy. It can freeze in just a matter of minutes. So what do you do? What do you do? Woo! Well, here's some tips for you. If the roads are clear, more guy. If the roads are clear, the needle. If the roads are clear, go ahead and but they're wet, you know. So maybe it snowed, but the snowplow came and it, you know, cleared away all the snow. But there's still snow around and it could melt. Use studded tires. You can't really go wrong with studded tires when the roads are clear. I have read that, you know, people said that you gotta be careful with studded tires if you go too fast when you're turning and the roads are dry. You know, you could, you know, slip and fall because you're really riding on, you know, instead of rubber, you're riding on metal spikes. So you just gotta bear in mind to just go slow, you know. Going slow may not really necessarily help you from falling down, but at least you won't be going as fast when you do. If you do, hopefully you won't. So yeah, first things first, the roads are clear but wet. Use studded tires. They will bite into any spots that might be icy. And areas you especially need to watch for are bridges and turns and you know, any area that's shaded. I mean, right now it's it's pretty cloudy right now. This way, yes. Yeah, just some top tips. When there's snow, slow down. Slow down. Whew. Obviously, at nighttime, as you would normally, use some good bright lights so you can see and, of course, be seen. The stuff called black ice on black tarmac or asphalt is called as such because it blends in, you can't see it. But always good lights are important. This guy's making it, no, he's not making a turn. Wow. So what's next? if you got 1 to 2 inches of snow, so that would be what? 2.5 to 5 centimeters, whatever, I guess, metric. If you have 1 to 2 inches of snow, and it's, now I gotta be specific here. If it's like a fresh, dry snow, you could, well, actually, I take that back. I'm just thinking this through right now here. I would say, actually, if you have less than 1 inch of dry snow, you could ride your bike like this bike here. It's got narrow tires. So if you want to ride your road bike in snow, I would say you probably could do it. You could cut through the snow if it is less than 1 inch thick on the ground and it is it's dry, you know, it's not wet or it hasn't frozen, you know, and it's just dry, fluffy snow. You could get away with your road bike, I think, with skinny tires. If you got, let's see here, a lot of cars around. This guy, that SUV, he's not gonna let me in. If you got 1 to 2 inches of snow, bail. Where are all these cars coming from? I mean, I guess I did leave a little earlier, so there's a lot of people still trying to get into work. There's all these cars. Alright, normally I wouldn't do this. Let's get off it, yeah. Ugh. Okay, now there's pedestrians. Oh my. Gosh, they just keep coming. Yeah, there's like apartments back over there, and I'm not making my turn that I want to make here. Slow it down. So, this is what we would call a Contraflow bike lane. Only that this is not a Contraflow bike lane. Oh, BikeBlogger. Oh, BikeBlogger. I don't really see any problem with it though, because it's plenty wide. Anyway, if you got 1 to 2 inches of dry snow, I would say go ahead, bump it up, use some wide tires. Probably some cyclocross tires or mountain bike tires. Something with more tread. There's like a walking path here. Kind of interesting, even though it's not purpose made. It is definitely something people use. Man, this is a busy road. I did not realize how busy that road was this time of day. It is like a main arterial road. Whew. I mean, this is like a residential area, but there are people everywhere. I'm trying to tell. I often get confused when I don't see a stop sign at an intersection. I think there might have been one. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, if you got less than 1 inch of dry snow, you could use narrow tires. If you got 1 to 2 inches of dry snow, I would recommend wider tires with the tread, so cyclocross or mountain bike tires. If you have more than 1 inch of snow, you're probably going to have to bump up to a fat bike or a bike with some really what's this guy doing? That is a weird sounding car, and it's got like a little blue emblem on it. That must be one of those electric cars or something. Nissan Leaf or whatever it's called. So yeah, if you got more than 2 inches of snow, go fat bike. Anything, if it's just dry and there's no snow around like it is today, I mean, it's maybe a little wet, but it's mainly dry. Use whatever you want. Use whatever you want. I don't know if I went down this road earlier. I don't think I did. A lot of cyclists going through here now. Yeah, they were cutting through like a sidewalk or something back there. I think part of the problem is not only are there quite a few residences back here, but there is a school back here, and I think it's just parents taking their kids to school. It was encouraging to see at least a couple of kids riding their bike to work, riding their bike to school. Especially in this weather, it's kind of surprising. I don't see that very often around where I live. Let's make it right, yeah. Nice and easy. What else? So yeah, those are just some quick tips for you. Once more, narrow tires if it is less than 1 inch of snow, dry snow. If it's 1 to 2 inches, get some wide tires with some tread on them. If it's more than 2 inches, get some fat tires. If it's just a winter day like today, use whatever you want. Woo. So we're on Clayton Road heading east right now. St. Louis, Missouri. It's just hovering around freezing, so gotta be aware of that. There are wet areas like where I'm riding now that could be ice if it was just a few degrees colder, but of course always check the weather and try to figure out what the day's gonna do, because this is just a really difficult thing to do though. Predicting what's gonna happen on the roads, because it depends, you know, does your city salt the roads? The air temperature does matter, but another thing you need to take into consideration is the ground, the surface temperature on the roads, because you may have a pretty big snow event, which I don't know, depending on where you live. Say you're gonna get a ½ foot of snow, like 6 inches of snow. But the day before, like it was here, the day before it was 70 Fahrenheit. It was really warm. Or it was really warm for a couple of days, actually. The ground's still gonna be very warm. And all that snow is just gonna melt, basically, right after it hits the ground. So that could turn to ice. On a day like that, I would say you probably want to use studded tires. You're gonna want to use studded tires pretty much most days when there's any significant amount of precipitation, because even if the roads are plowed, there still will be icy patches. And you just really need to be aware of that, especially this way. Well, they're doing work over here, especially if you're going across bridges and stuff, because areas that are elevated get a lot of airflow. Let's make a right. It's kind of loud over there. Areas that are elevated tend to freeze a lot faster. I don't know if my camera's catching it, but my tire is all white. I'm thinking maybe that's the salt from the roads. I don't know. Whew. A lot of dusty roads back there with no construction. Up. Up. So I did a video a while ago with my e-bike, which I'm not using so much anymore. I'm glad I did not buy a really expensive e-bike, because I did not really use it that much. It was a fun project though. But anyway, I had to wet here. So this is more construction stuff. Okay. I found the e-bike to be very helpful getting up hills in the snow. Because the best thing for you to do is just kind of try not to move around so much on the bike when you're climbing up a snowy, icy patch. So if you can just hit the accelerator, you know, and you have a e-bike that's not just pedal assist but actually throttle. Wow, let's get over here for a second. Oh, that traffic. That's kind of odd for this time of the morning, which is, you know, I don't know, 8:30 or something. It's kind of odd to have that much traffic at this time in the morning. Whew. Huh. Oh. They're doing construction over here too. They're building a whole bunch of apartments or condos or whatever. Alright, just had my battery die on me. That's what I really don't like about the cold weather, is it just kills batteries so much faster. Anyway, so you have this development to the right. It's going to add probably a lot of traffic to this road, because to the right there is like a parking garage or whatever, and it looks pretty big inside. So yeah, they're going to be adding a lot of cars to this road, unfortunately. That's the brakes though, the brakes. Alrighty. So yeah, just tip of the day. Choose the correct tires if you can. You know, that's a very good investment for your bicycle, just to get some new tires. Always. I mean, that's just always one of the top investments. First things I would upgrade on a bike or a new bike is get some better tires, because often bikes, you know, it depends on how much you pay for your bike, but generally speaking, the tires that come with it are not really the tires you would probably use ideally, because honestly, if you got a road bike, you'd probably get some good tires that have a smooth tread and they'd be meant for the road. But if you get like a mountain bike or a cyclocross bike, it might have a lot of tread on it. You're not really going to need that usually when you're commuting on the road, on a hard surface like the road here. It's very, I wouldn't say smooth, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, ideally what you would do is, yeah, you'd get another pair of tires and you'd swap them, you know, between the wheels when you need to. If you're fortunate enough to afford another set of wheels, you know, you could do that. Obviously, if you got the money and you got the space, just have a whole nother bike, you know, so then you don't even have to really deal with that. So that just makes it easier and easier for you to get going in the morning, because conditions can change overnight. And it's like, oh, I was planning on riding, you know, this one bike. Now it's like, it's you know, it's all wet outside. It's like, you know, number one, if it is wet, or, you know, even if it's icy and it gets studded tires or whatever, a cheap way to get more grip on the road is to simply just lower the air pressure in your tires. That will give you more grip, just period, with your sticky rubber tires. Whew. Okay. Almost to work now, just kind of a roundabout way to work today. Whew. It's pretty cold. It is 32 Fahrenheit, so rocking the big gloves. We got, you know, long pants, of course, and we got my jacket on. I have an undershirt, a overshirt, I guess, and then my jacket. So on my bottoms, I also have layers, you know, underwear, and then another pair of underwear, basically. Yeah, I know it's not ideal to bunch up your underwear, because you're just gonna get saddle sores, but I don't go that far, so I don't worry about that much. If I had a longer commute, yeah, I'd probably wear the, you know, the traditional bike garb, cycling jersey, all that goodness, because it is it's not just aerodynamic, it's also you know, it's purpose made. You know, if you wear the especially if you wear the wicking sort of fabrics and stuff. Look at all the school buses. Look at all the school buses. So we know where we're going. Oh no, nobody's in the pool right now. Oh man. That pool looks kind of nasty. I don't know what that is. I don't know why they leave water in the pool like that. Maplewood Fire Department. Whew. Police Department. Unmarked American-made cars, Ford, whatnot, fleet vehicles. So we're just about to work now. Just wait for a gap in the traffic here. There's the Maplewood Bicycle Shop. Take it easy here. The light is red anyway right now. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Let's go get some chicken. Or not. No thanks. I'm a vegan. thread the needle. Whew.